You never know. And especially about this cast, I'm curious who you think is the stronger newbie as far as housewives, not Jen Fessler, but Rachel Fuda or Danielle Cabral.
If you had asked me earlier in the season, it would have been Danielle hands down. And then now Fuda is coming on so strong to me, like where I'm like, wow. And I'm really enjoying her family dynamic. I find her husband ridiculous. So I don't know. I think Danielle's the obvious choice, but I'll go Fuda. I really am kind of excited to see where she goes. She's able to handle herself in a fight. She had, I don't know. I kind of, and I will say that's a switch. But like I said, I like both of them. But I think Fuda is really coming on strong in this latter half of the season.
Do you think if Teresa, Mellisa, and Joe and Louis did get into it as hardcore as they're telling us that they did at the reunion, which is exactly what everybody expected, do you feel like they will still bring everyone back next season? Or do you think that Bravo might give somebody a little bit of time off in order to see how the show plays out?
Wait, I'm sorry. Between who and who? You one of the
Teresa
newbies,
and
Dan. You said
Mellisa,
Dan.
do you think that, I mean, obviously Bravo
Oh,
would give Mellisa and Joe time off. It wouldn't be Teresa.
yeah, I mean, if that would be the choice, it would be Mellisa and Joey, hands down. I think if they do that, though, they would find a way to give them a spin-off or something because they are so integrated into the Bravo universe that it would be very interesting if they really did give them pink slips. I would find that, and Joey would be crying about it harder than Mellisa, and it would be bad news bears. But I don't know at this point. I do think they have to figure it out. I just think that Bravo would try to do that with them in the gentlest way possible, where they would try to find a way to do some spinoff like Joey loves Mellisa or something like that. But I don't know if they're going to have any. I mean, what do you think? Do you really think they can continue this way with all four of them?
If they did a spinoff, they would have to incorporate Melissa's sisters, and it would
Yeah.
have to be like a whole family show. I didn't even think about a spinoff, but I don't know if they're willing to keep putting themselves in uncomfortable situations like the reunion where they can still have conversations and go to bat, then I think that they could still keep them around. But if there's really no resolution, like Bravo producers, Andy Cohen, they will have to listen to the fans too when the fans say enough. Like, this is exhausting. So I
Well,
don't know.
the other way to think about it too is that you know thinking about like athletes retiring, like Michael Jordan, all of the greats. What if Teresa? Is there a world in which Teresa retires, like going out on top? She's a legend. She's a Mount Rushmore housewife. What if, I mean, if she's in love now, if she's truly in love, she's got this beautiful family. Is there a world in which she's like, I have enough? I really want to focus on the
No.
love and not the hate. Really, you're like, no, just
No,
absolutely not.
there's
Just
no absolute.
absolutely not.
No, I think Teresa's like, this is my show, bitch. Like,
I,
this is, I don't think that she would leave. I think that she's made it known that she wants to go to the West Coast when all of her daughters graduate, but she has another 4 years. So I don't think that she will be going anywhere anytime soon.
well, I hope she'll consider it. I mean, like, no, she's got such a good life, and she says she's all about the love, love, love. Well, I don't think this is the show for love, love, love. And I don't know. Like, I find this one of the toughest decisions to make ever because I just don't think they can coexist in a way that is fair for the audience at all.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree.
I
All
do
right.
wonder. I do. Wait, do you know? Because you have all these connections. Do you know if like does Mellisa feel the heat of like potentially getting a pink slip? Do you know? Like, because I would imagine if I were them and you pay attention to any of the fans or anything like that, you would know that we're conflicted, but like we also realize somebody potentially has to go here. I wonder if they get nervous. It's like I always compare it to Saturday Night Live because the cast usually doesn't know if they're coming back until a couple weeks before the new season starts. And so you're waiting all summer to know if you're getting brought back. And I hear it's very nerve wracking. And I wonder if Mellisa feels that and Joey to a degree as well.
She mentioned on her On Display podcast that she knows that it's definitely a possibility, but she didn't speak on any emotions regarding like if that time comes.
Yeah.
So she didn't say like I would be so sad or anything like that, but she was like, is it a possibility that Bravo tells one of us to sit it out? Yeah, it's a possibility. But I think that's good though. At least they're very aware that that could be a possibility because I mean, it definitely is. Like if this becomes a pain in the ass for production and fans no longer find it interesting to watch, at the end of the day, this is a business and that's a TV show. They got to figure it out.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think Joey and Mellisa, and this is a very loose thought, is that they they're actually able they live in more of a real world than Teresa does, if that makes sense. Teresa, like I said, when you communicate with Teresa, it's very different. I feel like Mellisa, as annoying as she can be to people, she still does have like she can. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like Teresa is just such an interesting special case, but it's hard to have like full on conversations with Teresa because she doesn't fully sometimes understand what everybody around her means.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like, and I think that's also what makes her so special and very different. But Mellisa and Joey, I feel like they'll, I don't know. I don't know. I'm really confused about this whole thing because I really don't know where you go.
We're both confused. We're both confused. But with the state of confusion that we're currently living in, Ryan, what are you looking forward to most from the rest of the season? Like, we obviously know we're not getting resolved. So what's the next best thing for you?
For it to be over, that'll be exciting. No. I'm looking forward to the wedding. I really am. I really do get fascinated with any kind of Louis footage because, listen, I thought it was a very interesting scene at one of the parties when he like lost it. It was the same episode where he was like, I wear your grandpa's PJs at night for the girls. It was that party, and you saw him lose it, and you saw that kind of mask slip away. And Mellisa said something interesting of like, I don't know. I think Louis, if you think about it this way, of like somebody that wants to be positive, that wants to like, but that deep down inside there is this rage and anger, and he's always trying to cover it up. I find that very fascinating because, listen, we've all read a lot of the stuff about Louis and his ex-girlfriends and stuff like that, and I just can't imagine all of that is just a coincidence, and there's all of those women are lying. So I really am curious of the real Louis, and it doesn't mean that he's not working on himself on a daily basis, but I thought that scene was interesting because he got so upset, and you see this, he's like, and I was like, wow, you could really sense some real anger underneath there. And I'm really interested to see more from Louis because he is always trying to put a positive spin on things. But I wonder about that, like when somebody does that, that just means there's such a deep anger in them that they're trying to work so hard to get rid of that other side. And that mask slipping sometimes I find very fascinating. And I'm wondering if we're going to get any more scenes like that. And especially with the wedding, because we're also going to have to hear Louis and Teresa when they find out Joey and Mellisa are not coming. I'm interested to see how all that goes down, because I think that will truly be painful to watch, even though we're tired of this whole storyline. That specifically will be insane because a wedding really is such a huge deal. And of course, I'll be interested for the reunion because I am interested to see how Andy navigates these waters.
I mean, this is going to be an absolute shit show. I think we can both agree on that. This is going to be a shit show, and I'm waiting for things to come out, and we're just going to have to be patient on this one. But Ryan...
Wait, do you think Teresa's kids are going to get involved more too?